sounds like Bumi. It's Open House Thursday. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies in the building. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Good morning.
You did James Bond move today. Mariam came in a bit late. What happened today, Mariam?
I'm telling you, it's crazy. I'll have to gist you after.
No,
but now I know when they say work under pressure, Mariah, take that.
I think one of the things we have to do is to put a box in your car or something. Once you get the call, just start driving down.
That's you, right? Really? Thanks, Mariam, for joining us. We had to draft you into the show because we thought Mariam wouldn't be able to make it. Good to have you on the show, Mariam.
Thank you so much.
Anything happening in your life you want to give us a heads up about?
Nothing much, but I think Thursdays are usually traffic-free days, especially from 8 a.m. to 9:30. You know, in Lagos, because of the sanitations, the market sanitations.
Yeah, but there's traffic today, though.
Still enforce it.
They still do.
They do.
Very well.
You
You can't even get anything once it's 7 a.m., 8 o'clock.
All the
You
stores
can't.
are
Until like 10 a.m.
10:30.
Right.
That's when it's
How you doing, Obiajulu?
I'm great. My spirit is actually not in Nigeria as we speak.
You've already traveled.
I'm traveling.
It's first week in December you're traveling now.
No. This weekend.
This weekend? Oh,
Wow.
So you're back.
My spirit is vacating already. Wow. I don't know how to pinch me
I
now.
know that feeling.
That's nice. So going with family, just with husband?
No, just with, no, it's honeymoon time.
Wow.
I missed that.
No,
come on.
Of multiple children. Join my club.
Don't join them. Don't listen to them.
We're done.
I feel alone in this.
You're
your own.
Yeah, Mother Abraham.
Everybody I know, 2, 3 kids max.
We're done.
Now here, like, I'm expecting one more, like, now I'm right.
No, but
You'll be all right.
This is my
Just
fourth.
that God was doubling your blessings. Double blessings.
You're
This
right.
one too can double.
Hey, back to sender.
But don't worry, when you grow older, you get to appreciate
the numbers,
kids.
right?
I'm telling you.
When I went for checkup, I asked my doctor, I said, "Okay, please check that scan very
Make
well.
sure
I
you
don't
just
want on that day say, hey, this one was hiding. It does not hide. Oh, check everywhere. Now one picking. This one I tell God, say,
But
okay, no
what
worry.
if it actually hides? And then you get there that
It's
day.
double
Why are we
blessing.
here? Why are we here?
Hey.
Tell us about
worry.
what's going on with you.
No, it's Dupe's mom's birthday today. She's
Makeup
the
artist.
assistant director of nurses at the General Hospital in Kurudu.
Oh.
Today,
Happy
Mrs. Olabode, yes. Dupe's mom.
How do you know everybody like this?
Happy birthday,
Politician.
The cake.
Nima
No,
is a
Dupe has
grass-
been doing drama since, throw pillows for mommy.
I don't know how you can
Politician.
enter.
She gets into politics.
You know
And I don't
Dupe's
know-
mother. You know Sade's father.
he likes.
You know
Miriam's
Bolaji's
house.
You know Miriam's house. You know their grandchildren, their great-grandfather self. You can be their house.
I don't know, but I don't know how I
politician.
dared to forget Adufo's birthday yesterday. Jumzo Adufo. It was his birthday also yesterday.
that?
Jumoke's
Bubble.
partner.
Sorry.
And my boss.
Oh.
Our senior at the bar. Happy birthday, Jumzo.
Happy birthday. Happy
birthday.
birthday. Everyone celebrating.
Wow. What else? Are you sure there's got to be more? Who else?
I'm
Name
covering
more
that
shout
one.
out.
Whose birthday?
I'm covering that one for later.
Remember
Oh, my brother-in-law's birthday.
You
Thank
see.
you. It's his birthday
Since you are
today.
doing just shout outs.
Yes.
I can't
Happy
remember.
birthday,
You want to
Uncle
remember
Fola.
something?
I'm trying to remember now. I just cannot.
Please. Anyways.
We are looking to the events.
But I know there's something happening today. I hope it's not an advert, but it's like going to be a very, very huge gathering of youth groups across Lagos at Blue Roof LTV with Sanwo-Olu. Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah, advertise it, please. Let him
I'm
not
sorry.
pay. Please,
Yeah, you know, sorry about that.
Please.
No, but I'm going to be part of it.
Just say there's a youth. Yeah, just say.
Let's go and know what he's going to do for us.
For the young people.
Because Lagos has been on standstill since like autopilot. So we want to know.
Understand?
How soon are you going to take
They
things?
feel
Can't hear
they feel
anybody. They're
left
talking
out.
at the same time. Who's talking?
No, the
Don't worry,
youth.
just
The
talk.
youth.
I'm glad that he's having an event, but anything like that, we don't announce it.
They
like
give
that.
us money.
They give us money first, and we now
Lots
tell
of
them.
money.
You know, we're just
But
praying
since
that, he tries to understand what the youth really want,
Did anybody
and
not
try
understand
to,
what you
the interest groups and everything.
Okay, no problem. Let's go on a break, Jerry, people. When we come back, we'll go through, in fact, we'll breeze through the front page because we didn't really read paper today now.
Today's
So
Thursday,
today's Thursday.
basically.
Want to gist. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, the punch, as usual. Jonathan's My Transition Hours, an elementary book of fiction, according to Borno Governor Shettima. No regrets working against Jonathan, says ACF and NEF. Picture here of an accident, 2 die, others injured in auto crash in Ondo State. Customs seized 21 vehicles, others worth 2.8 billion at Seme border. Akwa Ibom crisis, Inspector General redeploys CP as police seal assembly complex. Christian parents, Ifa priest protest against the UI school jabs crisis. Of our robberies, principal suspect Michael Adiku is dead, says Kwara Attorney General. Review disclosed performance. Now, electricity workers tell federal government. Farouk Lawan demanded $3 million bribe, but he got $500,000 from me, says Otedola.
Whoa.
Senate panel to probe Inspector General over the Kwara by-election. And EFCC grills ex-Abia Governor Orji over alleged 27 billion naira fraud. Look, let me say, I think there's one from Ezekwesili here. My agenda is to deregulate economy and fight corruption. We've heard that before, but I hope
It's a different player.
The different player, right? Okay. All right, let's start with the auto crash. Who has that story?
Yes, I have the story. There are actually 2 stories very quickly there. So in Ondo State, 2 petrol tankers collided because one of them lost control. According to eyewitness, I think his brake failed or something. So I think these truck drivers should make sure that their cars are in order before they put them on the road. Then the second story there at Ojo, a filling station, where the workers of the employees of that filling station connived with armed robbers to rob the
filling station
of 3 million naira. So they caught them while they were having a conversation with the robbers over the phone. So,
So the robbery didn't happen. It was while it was about to happen.
No, it happened
already.
They
So they caught them while they were still conversing with the criminals.
Who has the Christian parents and Ifa priest? What was that about?
I do.
That's just-
I wanted
that's
to
the
leave
hijab.
it because I don't understand. You know, some parents now of the ISI, the International School Ibadan, decided to join issues against the parents who are saying, let our daughters wear the hijab. They are now saying, we will not allow you. We too, we are Ifa priests, we are Christians. I don't understand.
Okay, I think this is really sad
Just
because
leave it.
parents are coming into a conversation that has to do with the law. Let the law handle this. It has nothing to do with us.
So
Stop dividing our
some
children
people
on
have
religious
no
lines.
religious
Oh,
lines.
they're Muslims.
Okay.
Oh, you're Christian.
They shouldn't
We need
wear
to
what they want
start
to wear.
thinking like normal people.
We should start to accept ourselves.
And tolerate each
You've
other.
never had issues with them before. They are saying this is how we want to dress. Allow them operate the way they want to
This
operate,
is
and you
such a
operate the
huge-
Why join issues?
This
Right.
is such a huge teachable moment that the parents can use to teach their children tolerance. And that will what
Accepting
will
one
lead in
Your
future,
classmates-
less of these clashes we always have
And
because of
that's
religion.
What's most painful, Marami, that's one of the reasons why we started Your View, because it was important that Nigerians understand that every single person should be heard. No matter how different you are, you're from different backgrounds, different religions, different
You should be
experiences.
respected.
We should respect your views, and that's what
them
we're
the way
preaching on
they
this
are.
show. It's really painful to see that people just gather around and start saying, let the courts deal with this. Moving on now to the nation. Shetima to Jonathan, you lied on Chibok girls. Should I say their quotes? I don't have time. CBN lends banks 956 billion naira in 3 months. How Jonathan considered defeat by Adoke. Police confirm of a robbery suspect's death. Buhari to governors. Southeast will get more. Court refuses bail for illegal arms importers. So Jonathan was saying, let me say very quickly, the cooperation from the state government is paramount, but we did not get that. How would the state have rejected the request from the federal government to relocate the students? That's according to Jonathan.
Yes.
Shetima now responded and said, the former president decided to sit on facts in this custody while he published an elementary standard, a book of fiction designed to pass guilty verdicts on anyone but himself. So Shetima obviously was the governor of Borno State when the Chibok abduction happened. So in the book, the ex-president Jonathan was trying to make people understand that
He
state
wrote his
did
own
not
account of what happened
his own
during the
account.
time. And Shetima should please write his own account of what happened, because I remember it was seriously, his state was most affected, and he was seriously confronting the
under
governor,
hit.
the president, on what to do for his people. So he should let us see
Moving
his
on.
own account.
To Daily Sun, Chibok girls saga, Jonathan versus Shetima. Imo Guba again, Governor Okorocha loses. Police seal Akwa Ibom Assembly as PDP alleges takeover plot. Of a robbery suspect, prime suspect dies in custody. I'm vindicated, says Saraki, as he demands inquiry. Right. Southeast demands prompt action on second Niger Bridge, Enugu Airport. So you have the story on the Offa robbery.
So we know that, we remember the Offa robbery,
Yeah.
and somehow Saraki's name was, involved in the whole thing.
Yes.
So the main suspect said is said to have died in custody. Wow. And for me, this is a crazy situation. So, of course, Saraki is saying we need to find out what happened, and it's sort of vindicating. If he had died in custody, what are they trying to say? Is someone trying to silence him so that he doesn't come out and finally say the truth?
So all the revelations behind it.
Because he had come out earlier to say that this person had died, and the police reported that and said, no, that
he was alive in custody.
Now they came to court during arraignment and they were unable to present this particular person, and they said to the court in explanation that he had died in custody. Saraki saying they vindicated my earlier stance that, he died. And he's insisting that the presidency should put together an inquiry into the case of death, which I agree with.
The case cannot even go on because they have to change the sheet, the charge again to include just the 5 of them.
It's kind of very suspicious, don't you think?
Very, very. It's actually very sad.
But there are two things. But there are two things. You know, our police brutality. It could be their way of getting the beating.
That as well. It could be that as well.
A prime suspect that he's
do you understand? He has all of that.
That's going to get you a conviction.
I'm scared if ever.
Well,
his case has gone a bit
I really don't think it's police brutality. I think this one, let me not say what I think.
Something is really happening that we're not seeing.
This cannot be police brutality.
There's more than meets the eye.
This is Nigeria.
Very painful. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. My transition hours, Borno governor attacks Jonathan, says he sat on facts about Chibok girls' abduction. Alleged subsidy scam, Farouk Lawan demanded $3 million bribe from me, Otedola tells court. APC primaries, aggrieved members have reasons to be bitter, says Oshomale. Senate probes police seal-off of Akwa Ibom Assembly. Nigeria's security challenges induced by internal and external factors, says Buhari. Again, 2 reps dump APC. Principal suspect in offer robbery dead. We talked about that. And Labour to demand 2 years arrears of new minimum wage. Any stories?
Oh, we'll find that. Where in Nigeria's budget would that come from?
Let's move on to New Telegraph.
Wow.
Southeast leaders table demands before Buhari. President, I'll fund all projects. No, could have, would have, should have, but hopefully will.
Next level.
SG and Igbo closer to presidency than Buhari's support. Sorry, let me take that again. Igbo closer to presidency with Buhari's support. Jonathan, TSA, BVN, IPPIS are my legacies, according to Jonathan. Chibok kidnap, Shetima accuses ex-president of hiding facts. And 365 farmers seek government's lifeline, can't repay loan. Anybody has Telegraph?
Yes, the President Jonathan. This he also said in his book that he fought corruption more than the present administration. At least it was better during his time, and he implored other methods. He said the TSA, which is the integrated personnel, the single treasury accounts, the integrated personnel and payroll information system, that's the IPPIS, and the bank verification number was a creation that he brought under his government.
May I just quickly remind him that he didn't let Sanusi, who was in charge of the BVN at the time, finish his tenure. He was suspended.
And then there was something he also mentioned to say that he fought corruption more. He says that the EFCC had at the time, during his tenure, 2 billion, but now they have 40 billion. So it means that there was less corruption during his time and more corruption. But in my opinion, I think maybe the government is fighting it better, so it's getting more than then.
For me, I think Jonathan's regime was one of the most corrupt.
That's your personal opinion?
Yeah, my personal opinion, my own view. Do you understand? Because if you had looked at the things that happened that time, especially with Alison Madueke, I don't know how that woman okay, anyway. Let me just try to...
the 365 farmers.
Yeah, go ahead.
So these 365 farmers had gotten loans through the Anchor Borrowers program that the CBN had put in place to help farmers. So for us, of course, to diversify and focus on agriculture more. But the floods that happened caused them to lose a lot of their farm products. And now they need a restructuring to help them survive this and then be able to pay later. So they need a bailout. I think the government should look at it, look very well, because flood is a yearly occurrence and we are unable to plan towards it. So we should have, foreseen this loss.
Unfortunately, that's what we can take on Front Page Review. Let us wrap up real quick. When we return, it's Thursday. We ask, what does being homely mean in the 21st century? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So our guest, Asake Agro, took to our Instagram page and started dishing out instructions to her future husband.
Wherever you are.
This woman called Asake here, let me tell you what she said. She's a fashion designer and she's also a lifestyle blogger, right? Yeah. So let me tell you what she said. Let me just give it to you right here. It says, my wife material is 0.
Oh, she's going to read everything?
Yeah. Not everything, just a part. No, just a few parts. Just proceed with caution. I get no sense, though. Not one kobo. You are free to refuse to pay the bride price because my family will, my father will give it back to you if your family happen to be unstable. Oh, I love that part. I will not cook, clean, bear your children because that is what society expects of me. I will do that. I will cook clean because I am a functional adult. Not because I'm a woman and expect a bloody grown man to be able to do that himself. That's just a bit of it, a glimpse of it. Now, when I read this, I saw myself 10, 15 years ago.
Was around
like this is like is speaking my mind then. But looking at it, I've entered the marriage. You know, we've been taught to humble ourselves. You know, you're an African woman, you can't talk like that. You know, so and I'm thinking to myself, what exactly is homely? Especially because another person broke up with his girlfriend because she wasn't homely. According to he was comparing her to his parents, saying, our mothers of those days, they were homely, they stuck, they managed all through the issues that they had with their husbands, but still they stuck through it.
Our fathers of those days, they took care of their women. Their women were not working.
Well,
in some tribes.
In some tribes.
One question.
Yes.
Did you go abroad?
What does that do with anything?
Because it seems like you're not in touch with reality here at all.
I lived abroad, but I've lived here too.
Something is the mosquito there.
Wait. What do you mean I'm not in touch with reality?
Because you see, Nigeria,
I am living in the reality. That is why I am able to say this thing.
This is your list of warning. I just looked at it. I know the guys will just be like, I believe this one. That's the way they react.
So what if I never get married?
Okay. That's
so what?
The extreme.
So I want us to define what homely is in the 21st century because, yes, I agree that women are smarter, we're educated, we're more exposed. We have options now compared to our parents.
Yeah.
Then our parents couldn't work. I mean, they didn't want to work, so they were only obligated to their husbands. But now we have options. You can choose to work out. So how can a man of today understand what homely is in the 21st century?
Yeah.
Is it the same thing our parents used to do? Or must he begin to come to terms with the new definitions that homely doesn't mean that I'm going to be cooking your food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or working at 11 p.m. to go for you?
It depends.
Homely cannot mean that anymore.
Men will even say, oh, I don't eat second day soup. You have to cook a fresh soup for me every day.
May I say that it depends on people's interpretations. You know, we see life from our different lenses. So homely to this man may mean someone who is, you know, can cook, clean, have my babies, you know, submit to me, service me, and all of that. Yet to another man, it could be someone who's a woman who's career-oriented, who is supportive, who has that, you know, who is a high flyer, who is who is doing to another person, and yet to another person, that body, you know, you have some of these women who can, you know, wrestle with you, beat you at PlayStation, beat you at chess, hang out with your guys. Yeah, but to another. No. It's your definition of what homely means to you.
But listen, I agree with you. But you realize even those men that like those, let's just be cool, me and you as a guy,
tomboyish,
when they enter their private house, they still want that somewhat village girl.
They still want to marry that village homely girl, but they will marry that girl and they will still go out and be dating the tomboy girl. They'll still go out and be dating the slay queens. So men don't really know what they want, in my opinion. They don't really, because if you actually want a woman that can stay at home and be homely, then be happy with her. Why marry her and then you're still going out to date slay queens?
I disagree.
Okay.
Yes, Mariam, let me hear your thoughts.
I think my problem with us, why we still have this conversation of what men want and what men want, is women still take themselves to be the way we were in like centuries past, where they'll dress you up, prep you up, and then parade you in front of men, and then have them choose you. Until we now recognize that we have to be ourselves and who we are, enjoy who we are, and the person will come and meet you where you are. If he likes it, he stays. If he doesn't like it, bye. But when we sit down, we're discussing it, what they want, it doesn't matter what they want. This is who I am.
Because we've been brainwashed to think all your life and everything you're doing in your life is preparing you for marriage. And that is the ultimate goal. So everything you are doing right from childhood, you will not, if you do this, you will not get a good husband. No man will marry you with this behavior. So that brainwashing has been there, that you're not complete as a human being unless you are some man's property.
Let me throw in this this angle, because people will say we're trying to copy the West, and if we look at the results they're producing, especially in the family unit, realize there are a lot of divorces. Kids are acting unruly abroad. They are wayward. So if we look at the results of the families in the West, would you want that? Would you want to replicate that? And people will try to say it's because there was no real leadership in the home. There were 50-50 partnership in the home. That's why these kids grew up to be wayward. But where there's a clear leader, that this is the man in charge, the wife is the neck, as they say, they move the head, you know, that there's a proper structure in the home. That is what makes a family and make kids.
Or maybe women are just less tolerant to rubbish from men. That's what's happening. So women are now becoming emancipated. They are more aware of their rights. They are more aware of their power. A lot of women are more... Before, women were dependent on the men financially. But we have a lot of women that are doing good by themselves. So when you take away that power from the man, when you take away that financial and economic power from a lot of men, you find out that they have nothing else to offer. So if I have my own money as a woman and all you are bringing to the table is, oh, I'm a man, I can provide for you. And if I'm already doing that for myself and you have nothing else to offer me, then I can walk.
Is there a cost to that? You are empowered. Is there a cost?
And that's why a lot of men are threatened. A lot of men are threatened by the fact that women are now emancipated and financially emancipated. That's why you find out when a woman gets a good job, or when she tells her husband, oh, I got this job, you're paying 1 million a month, and this man is earning 100,000 a month. He's like, no, you can't get that job, or you have to sit down at home and take care of the kids.
The example Mariah gave earlier, there has to be some cost to it. We're not talking about what your individual places are. That's separate from when it comes to within a home, to start a family. The issues are, it's a totally different ballgame. You need to sit down and have a conversation. It's about personalities. So you marry a man who looks up, or you fall in love with a man who looks up to a woman who just wants her to be an extension of his mother. You fell in love with him. He came to you. You have to accept each person's package. Do you understand what I mean? So you don't come into the marriage and say, oh God, don't be expecting this of me. Those were his expectations. When
he married you.
When he married you. If you're not going to meet them, you to step aside.
Okay, let me
May I say that why we are still having these kinds of conversation is the fact that our parents did not do what they were supposed to do in the lives of their children. In the sense that every child sees the parent as a hero growing up. So they see how daddy treats mommy. They see how daddy does not let mommy go outside to work. They see how mommy just serves daddy. And then they grow up with that mindset that when I get married, this is how I want my wife to be. But if you come to homes where their mothers are high flyers, you can't have a child from that home say, I want to suppress my wife when she's flying, because they've seen their mother as career women. Okay, so we should work on that.
We have to go on a break. We come back because I want us to really attempt to get the definition of homely in the 21st century, so that men have a better understanding and women
why is the onus on the women to be
get the
homely?
definition?
You guys are even missing the point. Why are we having the conversation around the woman? All right. Why can't we have the conversation around adults?
Basically,
regardless of the gender.
Let's go to the break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before the break, we're just trying to get the definition, because we really want the show to be such that at the end of the day, both men and women have an understanding of who the homely woman is in the 21st century. Because we must admit, Ashake, at the end of it all, You want to have
home you
beautiful
want to
children.
run.
Yes.
You want your kids to grow up in a healthy
environment.
environment.
So true.
as a woman, what we know is that sometimes we have to sacrifice for our kids to ensure that they grow. Because if you do the I'm empowered thing and, you know, I have my own dreams.
Too expensive.
And you do that, and at whose expense?
But that's the problem. The problem is always that the woman is the one that always has to sacrifice her dreams.
One person.
And sacrifice her passions to keep the home. Okay, because this is what society expects of me. So let me just do this. And then that's why you find that a lot of women are unhappy. And that could also lead to divorce, because the woman gets to a breaking point where she gets to, I can't do this anymore.
Let me quickly explain this. Like I said earlier, it's about 2 adults. So I always say, I don't worry about an adult. But I believe I deal with the consequences of my decision. So I decided to marry someone. I decided to be a mother. I had 2 children. I decided to start a career. It mustn't affect those dependents on me. Not my husband now. What he does, whether he wants to make the same sacrifices for his children, is his business. But my business must be something that puts my children's priority 100% in my life. That's how I roll. And it doesn't make me less of an independent woman. It doesn't make me less of an achiever. It doesn't make me less. Just that, you know, in every decision I make, I put someone's interest
Okay, go ahead.
as part of it.
But we're both saying the same thing.
Yes,
You're putting your children's interest first, and your own comes last.
It doesn't mean I'm sacrificing for my husband.
Something has to
This
give.
is not about an adult.
Something has to give.
Okay.
As in, you are in a marriage situation, so whether you like it or not, you're someone's partner, you're not alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something has to give.
So in a case where he fails to do the same, and will I be in a battle with him about who should do at the expense of my children?
Then you have to make your stance known from day one.
Okay,
You have to
I think
know the
we
kind of
should
person you're
not
marrying.
make it about the marriage and like now we're talking about homely.
Yeah.
And I remember there to be a time when homely was a compliment.
Yeah.
Now it seems that if you're
It's
called,
for me, it's an insult.
Yes.
Don't tell me I'm homely.
Okay,
Don't tell me
you
you know how to cook edik aiko and
It's a
ogbono.
compliment.
You are very homely.
So to you, that's a compliment.
yeah, so
No,
it used to be.
the connotation for me, the underlying connotation means, oh, you are homely means you are fit to be someone's wife.
But you're fit to be someone's wife. Is that a crime?
That's not a crime, but I don't see that as a compliment either.
Okay, let me take this call from Shola. Shola, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shola. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Let me just say that being homely has to do with being whole, not being efficient in any aspect. Building a career and being deficient at home is not being homely. Neither is being homely at home, being able to cook all species and whatever, and deficient in career. It means being whole, whether as a man or as a woman. When there is disrespect, there is no homeliness in that. When career is not flourishing, when taking care of children, whether in nurturing or in training or bringing and instilling values into them, is not there. There's no homeliness in that. So in this discourse, I'm of the opinion that for one to be homely, as against what is being said, what is like I'll cook, eat, just because I'm an adult and the rest and that. So that's not. But it's about a total person being built, not subjected to the fact that
Regardless of
Thank you
gender.
very much, Jen. Thank you very much, Shola. That's it. Let me let Mariam go.
Yeah, so I was just saying that it used to be a compliment. And I
Yeah.
can see, although his explanation is regardless of gender, but we know that it's always used for the woman. No one says it's a homely man.
Looks at a man and
Yes.
says,
Let me share an experience.
When they say it's a responsible
let
man, it
me
means that
explain
you carry all the burden, financial and everything within a house. Is that an insult?
Today, a lot of men don't carry all the burdens. Trust me.
Exactly.
Women
A lot
actually
of
do.
women
Most men
are
don't.
not covering up for their men.
Recently we had a conversation in church, and we're in a women's group, and a lady said she turned down an NNPC job because it was all the way in Warri, and she sacrificed that for her kids because she's in Lagos. The company insisted that she had to move, and at that time she had a little baby.
Yeah.
They said they allowed her to move with one baby, but the remaining kids couldn't move.
Yeah.
And then she sacrificed. Now, looking back, the fact that she's stuck in Lagos and everything, she feels. She has a bit of regrets. She feels that, because she thinks that I wish my life had taken that job. But then the minister in charge said, okay, yes, you feel bad that you didn't take the NNPC job, but There are other ways of being successful. It's not only money. There are other things. You have your kid, you're with your kids. They are grown, they're mature, they are respectful. Don't you feel that's a sense of fulfillment? Should you outweigh that with
the job was her dream. The job was her dream.
It was her dream.
It was her dream. Now, that brings me to the African context, the definition of homely for an African man. So a woman who's able to sacrifice her ambitions. Her job is to nurture and take care of the man. The home is all she sees. So you're not allowed to have dreams. You're not allowed to pursue your dreams.
If it was a husband that had that job, they won't think twice.
That is the typical definition of homely to an African man.
Just to be a little fair, to be just a little fair, it's not that they do not expect you to have dreams and aspirations. They just assume that your dreams and aspirations is about the home. So it's not saying that if you had dreams, it will stop you from having those dreams. You know?
Let me stop.
She made the choice.
We've defined what it is today. What would we like it to be today? The new definition of homely. But let me take Jonathan's call first. Jonathan, are you there?
Yes.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I am Mr. Jonathan. Good morning. I love your program. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Let me go straight to the point. Home means being peaceful. It is not a being peaceful. Home means being peaceful. Home is a front, a package. Where one will go, it involves concealment. A place where person is molded for a better life. Are you hearing me? So it's not a derogatory remark. Both a man and a woman can be peaceful in a place where you can find solace. That's what the home setting is.
That you can find
and secondly, ladies have to define who they are, what they want from men. I have seen a lot of misparting, nurturing of marriages and things. It pains me. But the fact is this, we as individuals need to define what we want. Marriage is a partnership, just like a football team. Everybody 50-50. Goalkeeper, defender, coach, everybody plays his part, and at the end of the day, you get the required result.
Right.
Okay, if I get him right, if I'm not, I think he's trying to say that women should also say what they want from the men, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, for me, that's an important point, because a lot of times we talk about, oh, what do these men want? Maybe we have not been asking ourselves, what do we want from this men?
I can tell you what a lot of girls said when we were in school about what the kind of men they wanted to marry.
Money, tall, dark, and handsome.
Money. So you that you want to marry somebody that will give you money. What are you bringing? You used to be homely. Cook food.
Exactly, to get the money.
Let me throw that question to Ashake. What do you want as a woman? What's that?
I think I said that in the rest of my post, post on Instagram. I think I said all of that, you know, on the post about what I feel. My own, I already said it, like, if you're looking for the average Nigerian man's definition of wife material, then I have failed woefully, and I'm happy to fail woefully, because I'm not that definition of a woman who stays at home and cooks and cleans. That definition is a bit archaic and primitive in the world that we live in right now.
So, Ashake, what kind of wife would you like to be then?
What kind of wife would I like to be? I think I would, a partner in every sense of the word, in every connotation, whatever that means, financially, physically, career-wise.
Ashake, you can clean and cook and still be a partner. So like
if you
some people are doing.
That's where the conflict is.
Yes.
But I don't want to.
You don't want to clean and cook.
If you were a partner like the woman,
I don't want that to be. I don't want that to be seen as my job because I'm a woman.
She can afford to pay for somebody to do the cooking.
I don't want that to be seen. If I want to cook and clean, I can cook and clean. But I don't want you to feel, oh, you are the woman, so you're supposed to be cooking and cleaning.
Okay, do you expect him to provide for you? Hold on, calm down. Do you expect him to provide for you?
Just the same way I'm going to provide for him. It's a 50-50 thing. It's a partnership, like I said. So we're both doing it equally. It's not as if, oh, you are the woman, you cook and clean, so sit down at home. Oh, you are the man, go home and go out and bring money. So while I wait for you to bring money.
My husband does not like homely. My husband does not like homely. I remember when we were dating the first time, I went to his kitchen. When he saw me, he was like, what are you doing? Please, out. He's like, where are your nails? Where are your rings? Where are your, please, you're young. Do things like young people do, you know, so.
If you were the woman in the Morales example, the NNPC example, what would you have done?
Honestly, I can't say. I could say and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go take the job, you know. But I have to be in that situation
to know what
to
do.
Give you a honest answer, like this is what I would have done, you know. But I know that for a fact that if it was the man, he wouldn't think twice.
Yes,
none of us would even think twice. Oh yeah, of course, I can go now.
Man.
In fact, it might even get to the point where they say, okay, you know what, you're the wife, you can't stay here. You have to abandon whatever it is that you're doing and move and follow me to what I'm doing. But for me as a woman, especially in this society, I have to start questioning myself. I'll start questioning, oh, if I go, does that make me a good mother? And then what are people going to say? What are people going to... Even if you forget about what people say, even you yourself, you start asking yourself those questions. Okay, how can I leave my kids? But if it's the man, he's not going to think twice, oh, my wife is there, she'll take care of the kids.
My dad thought of me when you're break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Chama, are you still there?
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, here is my... I think you people are discussing a very fantastic topic today, but I always advise, when you're having such a topic, it would be nice. It would be nice to have another man in there. Now, here's my own point. 2 points, basically. First, like she said, marriage is like a partnership. So it means I want to get married to, I'm a man, I want to get married to a woman, the opposite sex, someone that can complete me. Okay. Now, completing me means I'm not the very caring type. That's why I need a woman. I'm not a good cook. That's why I need a woman in my own. I need that person that will bring in that womanity into. I don't want to marry a man. That's the first thing. The second point now is when you are given birth to as a woman, it is a cross you have to carry. Like the same way when you are given birth to as a man, it's the cross you have to carry. It means you have to grow yourself as a man.
Are you talking about defined roles?
To feed and take care of your family. Well, the same way, the lady that, as you are born as a woman, it is your responsibility to, you are given a womb, you can give birth. You have the breast, you can breastfeed the child. It is just what we have to take.
Those are defined roles.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for your call.
That's true.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
but most times we find the opposite is the case. I wanted to respond to the NNPC woman whose dreams she had to put aside. How about making it work? How about sitting down and saying, yes, I have 3 children. Okay, grandma, can you take my children while I go and start this dream, create a home and come and take my children? How about changing school and moving? People don't want to calculate all the odds. And you just say you sacrifice. No. You have to make it work. You can have your dreams as well as make sure you provide that dream or climate that your children can have theirs.
Okay, that's bringing the conversation home, Nima, because a lot of women today are single. Yeah. Because a lot of men feel like, oh, they're not homely enough. Yeah. That's why
that's exactly what the caller that
so just... the caller is...
And that is the thinking, what he just said is the thinking of the average Nigerian man. This is your role as a woman. He was saying, oh, he wants to come home and meet a woman that is this, that is that, and that's the thinking of the average Nigerian man.
So what would you like them to think? What would we like them to think as 21st century women? What exactly would we like the man to think? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I would like for them to think that we're partners. But what I notice with the average Nigerian man is that they want a hybrid, really. It's not that they want a completely homely woman. They want you to be at home cooking, cleaning, and yet they want to be able to take you out.
And you're classy.
And then your dress, your hair is flying and your nails are up there, out there.
At the same time.
So, and then when you're unable to switch those into those roles, then you become a problem.
Well, so women get burnt out. I mean, I get burnt out.
So now it depends on you, the woman. You decide who are you, what do you want for yourself. You cannot keep making a man decide the different roles that you're meant to fill in as he wishes.
Thank you.
And that's why you have to be honest with yourself from the get-go. And that's why I feel my post was a bit, controversial, and a lot of people open their mouths, because I'm honest with myself. I know the kind of man I am going, and I have to tell him from the get-go that, see, it's either you have this or you have this. You can't have both. If you want me to stay at home and then you go out and date slay queens, then let me sit down at home. You go bring the money. I will sit down at home and spend your money gladly. But if you want me to be high-flying, make dough, go out and then still come back home tired and do all that, then we have to be partners. We have to be ready to share it.
So while I was dating, dating, at 16, I had this picture of what I wanted. And I knew that I was passionate about my visions and dreams and goals. And I knew that I wasn't somebody who was just going to be in the house tying wrapper and raising kids. In as much as I love that aspect, but that's not all about me. So I was looking out for young men who would let me fly. And while I was dating, there was a guy who said, you cannot go into beauty pageant because all these girls are, and the other one said, you cannot do this. And I just knew these guys were not for me. So basically, like what Miriam said, know who you are, define your homely for yourself. Any guy who doesn't fit in, any guy who doesn't fit in will find their level.
Before I come to Nima, there's something you said and I want to latch on. Yes. I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Nima.
So let's say you defined yourself. Or God defines himself. You defined yourself. Or God defined himself. The products of your marriage, will you define their interests as well?
Let me rephrase that. So both of you have agreed. We're 50-50. We're doing this together. And your partners, your best friends in the house. And suddenly, kids start coming. So now at that moment, things change because you as a woman, as a high flyer, because you love these children so much, you want to sacrifice. At that moment, that's where this compromise comes in. Where women are willing to, become the homely. So that was she saying that it's not like women want to be slaves, but those are the circumstances we face when the kids come.
I totally understand that. I totally get that. I mean, I totally understand that. And, I've never been married. I don't have kids. So I can't say for sure, once I have kids, this and this is what I'm going to do. I might just, I might just wake up one morning and decide that, oh my God, you know what, I don't even want to work anymore. I just want to, go make the money. I'm going to stay home and take care of this. I don't know that, but I feel that it's important for you to have these conversations. Nobody can predict the future. But it is very, very important to have this conversation. Even when the kids are coming, when the kids come, how are we going to do childcare? Who is going to be? Because the truth of the matter is, either the man or the woman, somebody is going to have to sacrifice a lot more time taking more care of the kids. So you have to plan for that ahead and know, I'm going to have to, chill back on my career a bit and wait for the kids to grow up a bit more before I can go back. Which is what I did. But you have to decide on who is going to do what. So nobody feels like,
so my God. So let us do small definitions in our head, what we think.
Okay, so what I would like to say is that, as you said, the thing is, we need to realize that life is a journey. Marriage is also a journey. You start off somewhere, you're comfortable, things change, you compromise, you move on, and then when things change again, you change again and you adjust. But when people, especially young single ladies, looking at a marriage at a particular point, don't just judge that marriage. That marriage is going through a journey, and they're at a particular point, and they're going somewhere.
Let me come to Virgilia. Who's a homely woman 21st century in your head?
A homely woman is who she decides to be part-time. So you need to find what works for you and get involved with somebody who understands your homeliness.
Nima, your definition of this?
You can be whoever you want to be. Know yourself, discuss what works for you, but always know that be an adult. Take responsibility for every decision that you've made. So you're a mother, or you're a woman, you're a career woman.
No,
go along with life with the consequences.
I want them to understand.
No. You see men, they're already who they are. In my marriage, for instance, my husband doesn't understand children beyond financial, pay school fees, take those things. But I've been able to get him to the point where I'd like him to be. Do you understand? But I know priority. I'm the one who will be there and go to their school.
Definition, your own definition. Okay, we're talking to the men.
Yeah, my own definition is my own. Okay, you know what? I agree with what she said to a certain extent that you have to define. You cannot, because the truth of the matter is we've been looking to the men to define who we are. So they're the ones that tell us, you have to be this, and this to be a certain way, for you to be marriage material, for you to be a good wife. You have to be, so we have to define who we are and be ready to start for it.
21st century homely woman is a woman who deserves respect. She wants you to respect who she is and accept her for who she is. And that's the kind of partnership we're bringing into that home. So regardless of who's sacrificing, man or woman, it's a mutual conversation and it's a mutual decision amongst both of us. That's what a homely woman is today from our own definition. But I think we need the part two. Because we're not discussing in-laws. We're not discussing jobs. One tweet.